Free weight pullovers, here performed with a dumbbell. According to the latest scientific results, this exercise could already be considered optimal, because obviously it provides the greatest resistance at the bottom of the movement, which means it thoroughly overloads the lengthened position of the respective muscles. And if you've been following the latest developments in exercise science, you could get the impression you wouldn't need anything else. Here you have it in writing. You get similar adaptations no matter if you train your muscles just in their lengthened position or over their full range of motion. I've linked this preprint below in case you're interested in the exact results of this study. Also, in the screenshot I've underlined the names of the authors you might recognize from YouTube, the most popular of them being Jeff Nippard. For me personally, the header of this study begged the question, what muscular adaptations are we talking about here? Turns out, the scientists tested for improvements in muscle hypertrophy, aka gains, and muscle strength endurance, the latter represented by the 10 rep max. Now if that's all you care about, getting bigger and also stronger in that quite popular rep range, then you don't need to watch the rest of this video, because I am going to talk about other parameters, like density, graininess, details, separations, cross striations, or to summarize them, muscle quality or muscle maturity. And I can't blame the scientists for leaving these aspects aside. After all, how would you measure them objectively? That's simply not possible. Nevertheless, true bodybuilders know that in order to look like a true bodybuilder, hypertrophy isn't enough. And no, I'm not talking about cutting and getting leaner, because even at 10% body fat, you may look way less muscular than someone else at 15% body fat if that other athlete has better muscle quality. And this may be strictly bro science, but bodybuilders have always felt intuitively that in order to improve muscle quality, they also had to fully contract their muscles as hard as possible against adequate resistance. That's what we call peak contraction. And even today, in the age of lengthened partials, so to speak, the demand for peak contraction is as high as ever. And in the design of more and more training machines, manufacturers are actually following that demand. For example, nowadays many chest press machines have converging handles to provide a greater adduction component and thus more resistance in the fully contracted position. And that's exactly what the free weight pullovers are missing, especially if you want to target your lats with them. Because your lats pull in the direction of your feet, and with the weight perpendicularly over your chest, there is zero resistance in that direction. So to me, improving the exercise in that regard seemed to be definitely worth the effort. But still, most likely I wouldn't have gotten to it without Victor Street requesting it twice. So here's a big shout out to him and his channel. I must admit the solution I've come up with may appear pretty simple, even primitive, but on the upside it should be applicable almost for everyone. So here is how you add resistance bands to your free weight pullovers for a better lat contraction in the top position. And I can tell you from my test workout that it really makes a difference like day and night. For the purpose of weighing down the anchor of the bands, you can also use a stack of weight plates if you don't have a sandbag that's heavy enough. If you're using an EZ bar, make sure to fix the bands before loading up the weight plates. Then you can also use the empty bar for a nice warm-up set. If your goal is to just keep continuous tension throughout the whole movement, choose a weaker band and reduce the weight on the dumbbell or EZ bar only slightly compared to the free version. If, however, you're opting for a really hard peak contraction at the top, you have to choose a stronger band and considerably less weight to lift. Otherwise, you would be surprised how prematurely muscular failure would hit you. Like after 2 instead of expected 8 reps, like in my case here. Now, I think that's all you need to know to profit from this creative training hack. If you have any further questions about it, please ask them in your comment below. And I wouldn't mind if you gave this video a thumbs up and shared it with other people. A subscription with turned on notifications would also be nice. Thanks for watching. My name is Florian and I'll continue to make an effort so that you don't get bored with your training.